So, suspect number one. It's the name Gangstalker. Gang. Reason I suspect this because one, ghetto people or inner city people, they're all hip hop. They all have attitude. Just like in Freedom Riders, there's the white kid who doesn't want to participate, doesn't want to be anywhere part of it. And it's basically me. It's a culture war. They're trying to remove anything that's not ignorant hip hop music. It's a subculture. It's almost a counterculture too. It's not just a subculture. And I've been called white boy my whole life. I've been called whitewashed my whole life by what people like to call just teenagers. They're just teenagers dressed as cholos running around. Right, those are just teenagers. I feel like that's just a loophole for gangs to have criminals and get lighter sentences. The police department completely supports them too. They have their special officer that just lets them do whatever they want. Where is it? There we go. Hip hop culture. It came from Latinos in New York. Latinos and African Americans and Caribbeans. It's a New York thing. Somehow it came to the East Coast, which is just a really weird, posing about it. I mean, it's not completely awful. It's interesting. Music's nice to listen to. But, and then street entrepreneurship. What do you think that is? What do you think street entrepreneurship is? It just sounds like street crime. Oh, street knowledge. I mean, just so much focus on the street. Why? It's gross. It's gross and it's poor. I've just grown up with these gross and poor and angry people. They're all ghetto, They won't leave you alone. They're really annoying. It's just the bully you always had. Just the stupid hip hop idiot. So yeah, I grew up with my mom being Mexican and my dad white. So they're just racist about it the whole time. You're a traitor to your race, something like that. That's how far those gangs go. You're a traitor to your race and you just you need to be disposed of or something. And apparently you think you're better than someone if you put on, something else besides what they're doing. People think where I'm racist, they'd call me racist for criticizing them. And then, I mean, they need to look in the mirror because they're the ones who are criticizing everyone else if they just don't like it, Like a true artist will just say, okay, thanks for your input. They just don't like it. it's just annoying, and they all end up even going to jail and getting themselves, it's their own confession tape. It's hilarious how these stupid gangsters do that. But you really have to think like, wow, those guys who go ahead and just rap about the topic and they haven't done anything, like, that's awesome because they just make money off of just observing. It's just annoying. It's a awful culture, like how they they won't call you a man unless you're dirt poor. They'll say stupid shit like you need to have like your grass brown and shit just so that you can be considered manly. Like it honestly looks like they're mentally challenged. Yeah, just the homophobia, it's ridiculous. Like pants that don't fit, that's girl clothes. It's just ridiculous, man. Like how have these people outside of the entertainers, how have they gotten friends or jobs? It's just a surprising thing. Yeah, just Latinas in my family are racist, man. They want to give me no chance, so they're gang stalking me. I need to come up with a different word because gang stalking means uh, it, science fiction technology. It's just there's human intelligence. You can just hire someone just to harass someone 24/7. You could just throw them a crack rock or something. I don't know, whatever they do. It's just really annoying, man. Like they're fighting gentrification. I don't know what they're doing. Just stressful. Even my mom, I told her, you just be more compassionate. Why would you be so antagonizing to your own children or to your dog? Like, who talks to anyone that way unless they're about to get in a fight? Like, that's what that language is for, and she's using it casually. It's so awful, man. Like, you're just causing trauma the way you speak. It's a diary, Mom. There she is. She'll seem nice to everyone else, but she's dehydrated all the time from drinking. That's another thing with hip hop culture is drugs. You have to use drugs to be in hip hop culture. You know, your Hennessy or beer is just water. It's just agua. And no, it's not. Beer is not water. You know, you're just gonna your liver's just gonna try to make another chemical, and you're just gonna OD on that and then die. Or just do it slowly. It's sad, man. She drinks more than a minimum wage worker. It's ridiculous. Just think of it: $20 a week for 16 pack or something, or 20 pack. $20, and that lasts like a week. People make like $60 a day. Eh, it's just weird, man. Like It's just weird. Oh man. I used to listen to it too as a kid. I would listen to hip hop and not really know what I was listening to. I was just listening to the rhymes, like, oh, used to listen to Wu-Tang Clan, and it's like, okay, so right, Wu-Tang Clan. Okay, he's talking about crack, and I would just ignore it. Crack selling and Asian mafias involved or something like that. And why? Why? It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't need to know any of that unless I am aspiring law enforcement. That is the only reason I need to know that. Of course, it's just escapism because that's kind of the only logical way to become really wealthy. So people's minds just like to wander about that. But seriously, though, they're gonna try to kill me. Go right ahead. My life already sucks. So just finish the fucking job. Yeah, man, it's weird. Uh, yeah. So the ghettos, they're very, you got to think of white trash too. Not just your hip hop. You have white trash. You have to always be around. This is about, it's the poverty trap. You're not getting out of poverty unless you get these. It's just a poverty trap. There's no getting out of it. You're stuck around white trash and I don't know what to call it. Hip hop people. Okay. Hip hop people who just won't leave you alone. They try to control the neighborhood. They need every single, just like said in the first video, they need every single person. They need every single person on their side, or they just can't. They can't exist. So they go about gangstalking. They constantly harass me. They'll just be saying mean shit, audible for me, and then just watch me suffer. That's voyeurism for you. I don't have this prepared right now, so it's really hard to go and make this actual content. Yeah, it's just an awful, the ghetto. It's shitty. The hood. It's a shitty, awful place. There's just, authoritarian right people here. So all of them are, really stupid, like blue collar people. Not that all blue collar people are stupid, but there's just your stupid, ignorant blue collar person who has just an absurd amount of aggression that you're always around. Just a disgusting amount of aggression, just poor hygiene, obese, uh, you know, their house is just at a wreck. They're property owners too, and they're just have no pride in their property at all. They have nothing. They just have trash everywhere. Yeah, it's just a shitty fucking place to grow up. And it just brings everyone else down with him. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah. They'll Then they'll, send out their kids. They'll tell them they can, bully all they want. That's just teasing. And it's not. It is not whatsoever. Yeah, it's just a shitty place, and it's just made to drag you down. And then you have the schools who go into their freedom riders, and they'll just fill them up with a bunch of inspiration to continue being just shitty people. There's what is that? Someone's like neighbors yelling at me or something. Just think of how like a like a metal singer screams. They don't scream to cough up blood. They can scream when they're talking, and then they just raise up the volume on the microphone. Yeah, that's a part of white trash. The metal militia bro scenes, the bros. That's another thing. You have the bros. Yeah, all of them. They're just some of them. One of them, I don't know, but I would suspect them to do that kind of thing. You know, there's just so many nurses, and they're all hourly. So maybe they're per diem, but they're all hourly. So they need to, go ahead and keep crazy people going through there. You know, I saw a T-shirt today that says "liberals liberalism's a mental illness." So any out group is considered a mental illness now. If that's a T-shirt, then that's just the only reasoning that everyone thinks everyone else is crazy. Oh, is that true? Now someone's saying there's only one God. There's no God. Silly. That's another thing that I'm noticing with hip hop now is all the evangelism. I don't know if it's sarcastic or ironic, but it's pretty ridiculous. Like, wow. That is just not a nice story. Why would anyone want to know that story? Like Google feel good movies and maybe you'll find one. Those are actually all awful movies too. So there are like no good stories unless they're kindergarten book. Like kindergarten books are the only ones with good stories. Like, and I mean a good story, not what a supposed, well thought out and organized and interesting storytelling devices. I mean like a good story that has like a nice ending and it's a happy thing. It's not something that's awful that, you know, makes you guard yourself because it's a topic for vexatious litigation and accusations. So, just tired of it, you know. But the thing is, I'm in the ghetto of a city where the average income's $100,000. So, or that's the medium. So this is like it's like a wealthy ghetto, but in reality, there's only like two shitty houses on the block. Well, it's a shitty house, and then it's one, two, four, four, five shitty houses with a bunch of what's it called, hoarding and just trash everywhere. And then there's a trailer park and a shitty apartments. So that's the ghetto in this city. It's not even that much of a ghetto. Like I grew up in another city where most of it's just a ghetto, but it's kind of not that bad. People are just allowed to have their ghetto lifestyle and then do the normal daily things. It's weird. It's like a bizarro world. Yeah, someone told me attitude. That's all that's important with a job. And apparently, the attitude is being a ghetto person. Oh, yeah. Yeah, people start crying. There were zealots, man. No one cares. Yeah, just zealous hip hop or zealous poor people. I don't know what it is, but it's annoying. They're just trying to convince me I'm crazy. Just gonna wait it out. That's all there is to do. It's just to funnel them into the psychiatric treatment. No, Wilbur's just trying to make you into Sybil. That is all that is happening. No one needs to be put on tranquilizers. There's no balance that anyone can prove. There's no proving anything unless it's post mortem. Is it rabies? Because it sounds like rabies. Oh, yeah. So, you know how the Mormons have their ward that they have to take dominion over? They're their shepherd for a ward. Is there like one ghetto person who takes responsibility of everyone in the ghetto person or the inner city person takes care of their their block, and then they need to make sure that all the little all the ghetto people, all the hip hoppers or whatever, all of them are all their pants are on the ground. See, the rule is instead of below, like 1 inch or 2 inch below the knee, is the third belt loop on a size 38 when your waist is a 32. Is that what they do? I don't know. Like, why are they trying to get everyone ready for prison culture? Because that's what it is. It's basically prison culture. Sagging. That's prison culture. Like, being poor is just like jail. I don't understand what the punishment is. You eat 3,000 calories a meal. You only hang out with your own gender. Like, it's just it's a face eating leopard thing to do. It's like getting a pet. My pet, being a part of inner city culture is like getting a pet, getting a face eating leopard as a pet. Just clawing at you. You know, apparently hip hop is more popular here, so, or not hip hop, punk music, which is an interesting group. So it's a subculture because there's, unless you're complete, there's your few countercultures in punk, but it's mostly a subculture. You got to say that about any kind of music genre, culture thing, because everything's a diverse little snowflake. Yeah, that's another thing. Tired teachers made it into empowering some. It's empowering to just flat out be a bully. It's empowering to be a thug. And then they made it into a school program. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. But it's true. It's completely true. And this is just all because I was born unlucky and I wasn't, yeah, I sound racist now, but I wasn't completely white. Then you have your white people who don't do that, but, just why would anyone be interested in that? No one's going to watch this, so one person will. How many viewers do I have? One? Am I my own viewer? Probably. Yeah, it's just a stupid world you have to live in. At least I had to. This is more worth than a therapist, really, too, because therapist just says, "Oh, interesting," and then just charges you or charges the government, because that's what they're doing. It's a scam to charge the government. It's a racketeering scam to charge the government. It's really simple. It's number one, it's not like it can't be a real science because it's therapy. Psychology is a science, therapy isn't. And so they have, someone, you don't know my house, you don't know what I'm pointing at, but I'm behind some trees, like about 20 yards of trees between me and a road. And then after that road on the other side, there's just houses. There's like roads. There's some roads. There's about 50 yards, 100 yards to the nearest intersection from me, where just there's houses everywhere. So they're all just yelling shit constantly, being mean. They're all trying to, keep their hood community employed at the nearest stores around here. That's what they're doing. That's all that they're doing. Because if I apply to a store around here, then their homie is out of work. Because the homie is the only one who's put their application in to work there. And then liberals just protect these people, and it's just ridiculous. That's why I can't be a part of them. Can't be a part of the Democratic Party. They're jokes, man. I just cherry pick my votes. Republicans are interesting about that. Cross voting. Gonna cross vote anyways, but whatever. Does the matter get counted? You see how they reverse the responsibility onto you like that? The entrapment that is so common. There's just so much entrapment that everyone has to go through. It's disgusting. Just so much fucking entrapment. You know, that's the kind of narcissistic attitude to do this as well. You know, we live in a simple economy of, a simple way of making a living. And then they complicate it with this dark triad thing and the covertness and the lies, the clandestine things that they do. Like, it's ridiculous. They even dress like they're clandestine. I mean, uh EFX, he's in full on like assault gear, sneaking suits. Eh, just people get their philosophy from that. It's where they get their ideas from, or it's an observation of what people are doing. Uh, it's never gonna end. I have to come up with the second part of this video right now. Yep, gang stalked by gangs, or crews as they call them. Oh, it's okay if you call yourself a crew. What would a crew get hired to do? I think they would get hired to gang stalk people. Or community stalk people. You just need such hard evidence to just say these things. Right now, it's a conspiracy theory. Once they're done arresting the private investigators that were stalking people in Scientology, then they're not crazy. Yeah, see? So Ice-T, he was in the military. Or is it Ice Cube? You have to remember, these people were in the military too. So they know all the covert, clandestine, psychological warfare things. Just imagine two snipers hiding in bushes. There's even a song. He's the sniper, Eazy-E. Denying the enemy. Come on, people, wake up. Well, like they say, the jig is up. Lie, cheat, steal. It's melodic, and then people don't know what they're saying. Lie, cheat, steal. Really? No, it was Reagan, not Clinton. I wasn't born yet. I have no idea. I have no perspective of what living under Reagan was like. If it's any different at all. You know, if you just shut everyone up, absolutely nothing has changed. Hate politics. You know, just being threatening all the time. That's that's living, growing up in a ghetto or the inner city. You know, you're suddenly not allowed to do things that are completely normal. You get extorted everywhere you go. It's another cult. It's just like another cult. They're all entrapped in it. They just shun the non-believers. At least I'm not in Los Angeles.